Champagne Rugby Podcast coming to you from the Export Beer Garden studio. My name is Tony Lyall, and this guy beside me, this freak on a leash, it's Sam Smith.
Can you get me off the leash, please? I don't like it. It's hurting my neck.
No, I find that if I let you off the leash, you tend to urinate on the Agapanthus, and it's a real pain in my backside.
But I need the relief, Tony. You don't understand.
It's true.
Inhumane to treat me like this.
I'm pretty sure it's legit to chain people up.
It's literally like a dog.
Yeah, that's fine. If it's good enough for a dog, you're saying you're better than a dog?
Yeah, I'm way better than a dog.
Oh, that's fair enough.
Dogs don't even have jobs, apart from some dogs who pull sleds and stuff. Shout out to sleds dogs. They're great.
What about drug dogs, police dogs, rescue dogs, dogs that are waiters.
Okay, I'm better than some dogs.
Dogs that play piano, dogs that do art.
Wait a second, there's a dog who can play piano? How? They don't even have fingers!
Dogs that star in pornography.
Sorry, what?
It's a whole thing.
I mean, the piano thing. I'm still caught on the piano thing. I don't understand how they play the keys.
Hey, huge weekend of rugby, the Rugby World Cup. We are through the pools. Hey,
finally.
Call me wrinkly skin 8-year-old boy because I've had enough of the pool and it is time. That's pretty good, to be honest.
I get like you've been swimming in the pool and your fingers have gone all wrinkly.
Yeah, I just thought really good.
I really thought you were doing a scrotum thing.
No.
I was like, how's this going to be about a scrotum? But it wasn't. It was about you being an 8-year-old boy who's been in the pool too long.
You just have enough of it, don't you? You get hungry time. You think, oh, I wonder if Mum will buy me a K-bar from the reception, and she won't.
Can I say K-bars are just a crime?
Do you know what the K stands for?
Ketamine.
No. That would be hilarious. I don't either.
Is it Special K like the cereal?
I always thought it was like
Potassium K.
No, I have no idea.
Vitamin K.
It's somewhere deep in the recession of my brain, and I'm sure it will pop in at some stage during this podcast. So at some stage I blurt out a word that starts with K. That's what that means.
I'll be listening.
Yeah.
For all words that start with K.
Well, only the one when I sort of say it with an exclamation. Then never referring to K-bar. Anything else is just a word. Like I could just be saying knickers.
Okay.
That's not the...
Does that start with a K? It sounds like it starts with an N.
I know, I thought I'd catch you out. But a hell of a weekend of rugby futaporo in the last week of the pools. We were crying out for a upset. There hadn't really been a large upset the whole tournament. Some would say the only big upset was Portugal losing to Australia. Am I right?
Yes, that was the one upset when Australia beat the mighty Portugal, the world's greatest rugby team, right, as of now.
And we were hoping for one. We were thinking maybe it might happen in France versus Italy. Maybe it might happen in England, Samoa. Maybe it might even happen in Ireland, Scotland.
It was so close to happening in England, Samoa.
Yeah.
Samoa, you were robbed.
But it didn't. The only upset was very disappointing. Fiji losing to Portugal.
Boys, Fiji, we bloody love those guys.
We do, but unfortunately they decided to take a huge dump in the bed and really cement their place as a team who will win when they're not supposed to, but really struggle in the easier games. Obviously, losing 23-24, still enough to get the bonus point and go through to the quarterfinals, which is a historic moment for that team. They're looking fantastic as well. But there was a few times watching it when it was 17-10 and they hadn't scored the bonus point and there was about 2 minutes to go when I was genuinely furious. I was like, Fiji, if you let the Wallabies through now, losing to Portugal...
It is crazy that the Wallabies got so close to getting back in.
It would have been a disaster. And they would have been playing England in a semi-final, in a quarter-final, and England haven't exactly been setting the world alight either.
The fact that Australia at this World Cup could have got to the semis when we potentially might not get there, we being the All Blacks, I'm a member of the team, is bonkers crazy times.
It's also, it does speak to the lopsided nature of the pools, which we've talked about a few times. And even Fiji going through, they still only won 2 games in pool play. 2 out of 4 games, a 50% record, and that's enough to get them through on 11 points, which was the same as Australia, but they beat them obviously in their game, so that was enough to send them through. But when you think that you can beat, I guess they beat the Wallabies and who else? Someone else absolutely shit ass. And that's enough for them to go through to on their side. Meanwhile, Scotland, pretty unlucky to be in that.
Very unlucky to be up against Ireland and South Africa.
And they were pretty roundly beaten as well. Scotland, people were talking that game up as potentially a big upset, maybe the game to watch. I was very excited for it. And
I want to talk a bit more about this later on.
Kicked the
Scotland.
Shit out of them. Yeah. Well, it was 36-14 in the end. 2 late tries, 2 Scotland put some respectability back in the scorecard. But it was basically Ireland scored a try maybe 2 minutes in, and they never really looked back, and they look
got
dangerous.
On a roll.
They do, and it was quite terrifying. There was moments where I was watching, because obviously the All Blacks are playing Ireland this weekend in the quarterfinal, where I was thinking, I wouldn't mind if they were a bit shitter.
Yeah. It'd be good if, like, maybe Sexton was, like, a bit shitter.
Yeah.
Maybe some of the New Zealand guys in the team could be a bit shitter.
Yeah, they have
Imagine this. These guys are sleeper cells. We get James Lowe. We get Bundy Aki. We get Jurassic Park. Jameson Jurassic Park.
There we go.
I know his name is Jameson Gibson Park. We get them to suddenly activate, take down the team from the inside, like the man Steve Hansen did against Australia. We do that in there. We could do. This is a great idea.
Well, I'm glad you're giving yourself props here.
Shit, I'm good at everything. We should. Let's make that happen.
Well, I think the only foil in your plan is that these guys were famously non-selected for the All Blacks. So they have no loyalty to this team. If anything, they've got a point to prove to the selectors. They're saying, hey, remember when you didn't select us and we had to go overseas? Hey, how about we're going to make your life a living hell now just to really rub it in your face? Have you ever been overlooked or begrudged, Sam, by anyone in your life?
No, I've got everything I've ever wanted in my life.
Everything you've ever wanted?
Literally, yeah.
Well, that's pretty great.
Yeah, it's pretty
for
awesome.
People who aren't as, I guess, aren't as privileged as you, who don't get as much things naturally, undeservingly. Really sometimes when you overlook for something, you hold a bit of a grudge, and it feels really good to prove that person wrong. And I think that's probably more that's what's going to happen. These guys are going to be playing with a real intent.
Here's the thing you've forgotten, Tony Lyall, because at the heart of them, they're not rugby players, they're New Zealanders, which means that we're going to activate the silver fern that lives within their hearts. They are going to be they're going to be doing the haka. The haka inside them is going to break out. They're going to stab the other players in their own team, collapse them to the ground. We'll score 100 points. Go the bloody boys.
So you're saying they're going to murder them, and then they'll
am
carry
fully keen on murder.
And they're going to carry on with the game with this. They're going to stab their own players, then the game carries on.
Yeah, I think the game carries on if there are like 12 players left on the field. I think that's the rule.
And there's been a murder.
Yes, that's right. You can have up to 3 murders on the field before they'll stop the game. I think that's the rule. So maybe we'll just do a couple.
But then the murderers will obviously be taken off. You can't murder and stay on the field.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. So maybe we can only get 1 murder in. Oh, but maybe we could do a murder where they don't properly see it, like it's in the middle of a scrum or something like that.
If one guy murdered 2 people and then he was also sent off, that's 3 people gone. So, I mean, this rule that you've made up.
No. What I'm saying is that one guy murders a guy. The murdered guy's off, obviously, because he's murdered. You can replace a murdered player, right? You just get the player who did the murder and gets sent off.
Why doesn't he just not come to the game?
What do you mean?
Well, you need the
murderer playing the
outrageous.
Game. The murderer is playing the game. They killed someone. The killed person is injured, so must be replaced by a player. So the murderer gets sent off. So they're only down 1 player then. So you can get.
What? Then why murder anyone?
No, because that's they're taking down their own teams, like the good players. So they have to be replaced by
for more
worse players.
Poorly thought out plans, we'll carry on into the rest of the quarterfinal planning that Sam has been doing some real stringent homework on by the sounds of things.
I don't even watch rugby. I don't know what that is.
I've never actually seen the sport.
I'm more of a theatre guy.
I've just caught the vibe of it. And it does intrigue me somewhat.
What I want to know is, why aren't the Crusaders playing in this World Cup? They're the best rugby team of all time.
The thing that I thought was noteworthy with this Ireland lineup, obviously we talked about the 3 All Blacks, 3 New Zealand players, also Mac Hansen, the winger for Australia. People are saying this is the greatest Irish side ever, and you're kind of like, well, there's 3 of them in the back line. There's 3, the 3 Irish guys in the back line, to be fair, pretty bloody good. Ringrose, Sexton, and whoever the other guy is. But the Australasian contingent are doing some pretty good work out there.
They are doing some heavy lifting, the sort of lifting you'd have to do if your mate got murdered and you had to carry him off the field.
Okay. And England-Samoa, that was also disappointing to see. 1 point loss, Samoa.
So close, Samoa.
Just a real proof of how discipline can really decide a game, and also how referees can just decide, can be like, hey, I'm going to do a lot of penalties against one team.
Discipline has been the name of the game this entire World Cup.
It really has been. I hope that the All Blacks are watching that
games.
Just really closely and thinking, hey, this team that's getting penalised all the time is having a really tough go at it.
They tend to lose the game.
They're really tending to lose.
So let's maybe be good boys.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe
We do
good
have
boys.
that mean streak in us, though.
Which is the other thing. If we're being good boys and Ireland are doing murders, then we'll have the ref on side. That's so it's a double-edged sword, but like in a good way.
Well, I think the literal definition of a double-edged sword is that it isn't in a good way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why it's in a good way. It's like a double-ended dildo. So
that is a good thing.
So it's a good thing.
That is undoubtedly a good thing.
Very good thing.
Unless it's in the movie Requiem for a Dream, which I didn't care for.
I haven't seen that. There wasn't enough requiems for my liking.
I watched it on Christmas Day and it really ruined my
That
Christmas Day.
seems like a weird... We watched like Home Alone or something like that.
Well, you watched a movie where there's a attempted child abduction, a home invasion.
You just said you watched Requiem for a Dream.
I'm not the one watching kids
Home
getting
Alone's
murdered.
set at Christmas.
Yeah, but there's kids getting abducted. They try to murder a child, and you're telling me what I should be watching on Christmas Day? Simply outrageous. Hey, the New Zealand All Blacks, they beat Uruguay 73-0 this week.
Didn't watch it.
Didn't watch it?
No, I watched it. It was great. It was really good.
Pretty bloody great. I was very excited. It was quite a...
Humdinger.
I was... Maybe skeptical is the word I will say about the team naming. I thought, should we have the guys who've got to be playing in the quarterfinal, semi-final, and final, even in the team?
Of course we should. They need game time. They need to be fit. They need to have some tackles, and they got a couple of tackles.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is that there was a lot of them who weren't in the team. I could have done with some Aaron Smith, even just for the final 20.
Do you think he needs it? Aaron Smith switches on at any time.
I think it's good. Famously, we've sometimes lacked cohesion when the pressure comes on. The teams, they all start playing like individuals, and I think the more game time, the better.
But I think we're more likely to need... Imagine if Aaron Smith goes down. Shit, we need Finlay Christie there being
yeah,
the
that is true. So I guess we did come through relatively unscathed. I think Tyrell Lomax is the only person who's maybe got an injury cloud over him.
Get better soon, Tyrell. We like you.
That giant cut in his leg, he got a shark bite.
Yeah.
In one of the games.
You shouldn't go swimming in the ocean before or during a game.
I know, especially when you are bleeding everywhere.
Yeah. Although in saying that, I love it when you play a team like England who wear white shirts and then someone's bleeding and you just see blood over someone's shirt. You're like, yeah, this is the tough stuff.
It looks pretty rad when they're all bloody. I once remember hearing a thing saying that was why the All Blacks hold so much munnets, because you never see them bleed.
Yeah.
Because the black shirt.
Because their blood is black.
Well,
is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that the blood
like
goes on the shirt and you can't see it on the shirt.
Oh, right, I see. It's like a colour thing. Yeah.
And obviously, there's been a few other teams whose alternate strips are just like, we're just going to do black too. England's just doing black.
Can't believe it. That's our colour.
It is. Like, famously. It's in the name.
All black. Yeah. It's in the New Zealand. It's so funny when they list out, like... We're playing New Zealanders playing Ireland. You're like, what?
Yeah.
It's the All Blacks versus Ireland. Thank you very much.
I'm finding the same thing in the Cricket World Cup at the moment when it's New Zealand versus the Netherlands. I'm like, yeah, but what are the Black Caps doing?
Caps, my friend.
It's a really good branding for the old Black Caps. They're really stuck, though, in that they always do have to wear black caps.
Well, they often wear blue caps, which is, I think, a mistake.
Sometimes they wear teal caps as well, like a lot of teal paneling on the sides. And you're like, guys, you're not wearing your name.
The black and blue and teal caps.
Doesn't sound the same.
It doesn't. It's too long.
It sounds like a sort of penguin.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's a spotted black and blue and teal cap.
Black and blue and teal cap. What? Strolling down the fjords. Is that what penguins do? I don't know. I don't really like animals.
Yeah, they're kind of... So not an animal guy, not
really
a
an
rugby
animal.
guy?
I don't really like rugby. Don't really like animals. I quite like just sitting down.
Hey, France kicked the shit out of Italy as well, 60-7.
Not as good as we kicked the shit out of Italy.
I know, it was quite satisfying.
Mathematically, we are better than France.
Yeah, it was quite nice to see that they didn't put 96 points on them. There was a few people being like, oh, Italy could tip over France. I definitely said it a few times.
We definitely said it on this podcast.
I tried to manifest it by saying it out loud, but I never really believed it in my heart of hearts, mainly due to the fact that it would be in the 96-0.
Yeah.
So they, of course, will go through top of the pool. 96-17, that is true. Italy scoring a couple of tries. They'll be bloody gutted, those Italians.
Yeah.
They'll be doing those little fingers that they do. They'll be yelling at cars. They'll be really pissed off.
They'll be throwing pizzas against the wall. They'll be snorting lines of spaghetti.
The amount of Mamma Mia's in that room at halftime, it must have been through the roof. with just devastated people. People were saying Santa Maria as far as they can. Is that?
I thought I was imagining like they were singing Mamma Mia by ABBA.
No. They weren't singing the musical Mamma Mia.
Imagine at halftime, the coach comes out at halftime to talk to them during the French game. Guys, we were beaten. We were absolutely thrashed by New Zealand, and here we go again.
Here we go again. And the ABBA kicks off.
Yeah, it'll be great.
That would speak to why that they were so poor at the World Cup, to be fair.
Why?
Because they're too worried about singing ABBA.
Yeah,
Not worried enough about bloody kicking it up their guts.
They could hear the drums, Fernando. I don't really know many ABBA songs, but I think I've named all the ones I do.
Yeah, I think that's two.
Waterloo.
Don't Cry for Me, Argentina.
No, that's from Evita.
Oh, yeah.
That's a musical. Thank you for bringing back musical theatre.
Would have been good, though, because it would have segued me perfectly into talking about Japan and Argentina. This
my gosh.
A straight shot for a quarterfinal.
Exactly right. And, of course, Argentina won. Of course.
Yeah, they really did, 39-27.
Japan are not the super powerhouse defeating South Africa that they were in years gone by. They are a fine team.
No, they're quite shit.
Michael Leach, great guy.
It's actually closer than the score, 39-27. The game was actually a lot closer than that. I think Japan had a chance to win it.
I think it was exactly that close.
Well, that was the end score. But, if you score a try in the last couple of minutes, it makes it look worse than the game actually was. I think Japan had a whole lot of chances to maybe even snatch that one away. Argentina in their glorious away kit, by the way. They've got like a sash across the side.
It's like they've won Miss World.
They do look like they've won
Miss Rugby.
World.
Argentina are Miss Rugby in my eyes.
I'd say Miss Argentina. I'd say that.
No, Miss World.
Miss World?
Yeah.
Or Miss Rugby?
Both. Miss Rugby World Cup.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So they're marching on through, the old Argies. They'll have a little bite at the cherry. And again, due to the lopsided nature of the tournament, they've got you'd have to say, maybe one of the easiest quarterfinals in the group. They're going to be playing Wales, who did top their pool and are unbeaten.
I think Wales are going to smash Argentina.
I think it's going to be a hell of a game. And every single quarterfinal next week is a North
versus
South.
Finally, we can find out statistically, perfectly, which is better, the Northern Hemisphere, where most of the people in the world live, or the Southern Hemisphere, where the best people in the world live.
Yeah, it will be good to see. Wales will play Argentina at 4 a.m. on Sunday, followed by Ireland, New Zealand, 8 a.m. on the same Sunday. And that's actually being broadcast here out of the ACC studio where we're recording this.
Oh
the Export Beer Garden studio will be lit up, and you can listen to that on iHeartRadio.
Fantastic, that'll be great.
And Radio Hodaki, I believe. Then on Monday morning, so there's no Saturday morning games, which leaves me all at sea. I don't know what to do. 4 o'clock, Fiji play England, and then on 8 o'clock, France versus South Africa. So I think both days is sort of like there's a little entree and a main course, like a game where you don't think either of the teams are going to actually win the World Cup, and then a meaty one where there's some real heavy hitters. And I guess I'm doing the All Blacks a bit of a service there, lumping us in the meaty course.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Well,
the All Blacks are going to win the Rugby World Cup easy, no questions.
We also lost a game in France, which I think is a pretty decent question, to be honest.
We do that all the time.
Lose a game in France?
Yeah.
In a World Cup?
Yeah.
I think pretty famously when we've lost during the World Cups that France have hosted, we've done poorly. Yeah. Notice how I said the France have hosted because we obviously lost the last one in Wales.
We've also bet France in the final twice.
That's true.
Unfortunately, we're playing Ireland. Who we knocked out, was it last time?
Last World Cup.
Let's do it again, eh?
It went well for us then.
Yeah.
We won that quarterfinal. And it's interesting to think that. I haven't really heard much talk about that. This is a replay of the quarterfinal last time. And there's been a lot of hoopla. And I guess we're contributing to it by saying the quarterfinal systems are a bit fucked. But a lot of hoopla being like, Ireland, New Zealand, they're playing too early. But this exact same thing happened last time. And I don't remember people saying shit.
Well, it's because back at that time, I think we were ranked number 1 or number 2, and Ireland were ranked like number 8 or 9.
Were they 8 or 9?
It was something like that. It was not
They
great.
weren't 4?
They might have been 4, I don't know.
Which would be almost exactly like this.
It was years ago.
It was 4
years ago,
ago.
but the opposite, because we were up and they were down, and now we're down and they're up.
Yeah. I think we understand that concept. And it's just going to be a hell of a game. 8 a.m. I think it's a great time for a rugby union game.
It is fantastic. Do you remember? I don't know if you ever got up to watch a rugby game at like 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
But holy crap.
Never great.
That's too early.
Yeah, never great. I think I will get up and watch this Wales-Argentina just for the vibe.
You've got it. So you're going to get up at 4 o'clock?
Maybe I'll get up at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Watch it delayed.
Watch the second half.
Skip through half time.
Oh, okay.
And then watch the second half because there's obviously a gap. A game will take maybe 2 hours.
Yeah.
So that game will finish at about sort of 6:30ish, 6:30.
And you've got that hour and a half to...
Yeah, so don't do that. If you wake up later, so wake up at 5:30, chuck it on, watch it, skip half time, watch the second half. It'll take you right up until the national anthems of the Ireland, New Zealand, and you can just block out your whole morning.
Can I just say, Ireland, greatest rugby anthem out there.
The Cranberry Zombie?
Yeah, it's a great song.
Amazing.
When everyone's going, zombie, zombie. That's my best favourite. Zombie. It's great.
It is. It's outstanding. They
absolute
belted
banger.
it out at the stadium after they beat Scotland, and I kind of like it because it's not really doesn't have any real rugby relation. Like you're not like, wait, so are the rugby players the zombies? What are we? Is there a metaphor that I'm missing here? You're like, is it just a good tune by an Irish band? It'd be like if all the All Black supporters at the end of an All Blacks win just decided to sing Alamino P. Verona.
That's a good song.
I know.
Da da da. When I saw you in Verona. Bah, bah, bah.
But it's not in any way related to rugby, unless there's something I'm missing with the Cranberry Zombie and it does have a rugby connection that I'm unaware of. But I don't think so.
In your head, zombie.
I think we get the words.
I'm just running through the song to see if there's any rugby, like if they say like line out or something at some point.
I don't know if they were
if they mention Johnny Sexton in the lyrics of the words. I was talking about Ireland, Ireland, together standing tall. Great song. Shoulder. I don't think am I going to get up for it? Maybe I will. I think you've convinced me, Tony Lyall, to get up to watch the rugby.
Quench.
K-bar.
Yeah.
Quench with a Q.
Quench with a K. What do you mean quench with a Q? Quench with a quay.
Because quench is a word that's normally spelled with a Q.
I know, but that's what they've done
with
there.
a K-bar, they've spelled it with
K-W-E-N-C-H. Quench.
Oh, my God.
Which is ironic, because when you have a K-bar, you're usually like, I'm so thirsty.
I need to... They always say that Sprite's the thirst quencher, don't they? Then you drink it and you're like, that was fine, but now let's have a real drink.
See, I disagree. I love a lemonade.
Nah,
I bloody love a lemonade.
You're wrong. If you got to have Fanta. Fanta's where it's at.
Fanta.
Yeah.
You're
and I say that
fucking child.
I say Fanta because it was invented in Nazi Germany.
It's the worst thing. It was supposedly like the German Coke, right?
Yeah, they couldn't get Coke into the country, so they were like, we're going to make our own fun drink. We're going to invent Fanta.
Fanta is just a horrific
fantastisch.
drink.
Oh, yeah? Well, tell that to Hitler.
Okay. Deal.
You can't. He's dead.
Yeah, I can still sort of yell at the car park where he died.
Yeah.
I've been there, by the way.
Did he die at a car park?
Well, it was a bunker when he was in it, but
why'd you go to the place where Hitler died?
It's on the walking tour. It's right in the middle of Berlin. They take you around all the places.
Is it actually?
Yeah, they take you around all the places, and they're like, oh, I see this car park. And obviously, I mean, if you know much about history and that sort of thing.
No, I don't really. I'm not really a history guy.
You may be aware that they had turned into a car park because they didn't want to, put a monument there so people could, I don't know, leave flowers. But you're like, you kind of know that that's what's happened. So you get to the car park and you're like, I bet this is the one.
Did you leave flowers in the car park?
No. Cool. I just said, Fanta sucks, and then left.
Oh, I can't believe it. He would have been turning in his grave.
Well, I think he was famously sort of buried at sea, wasn't he?
I think he was.
Oh, Osama bin Laden.
He shot himself. Thank you.
Okay, great contribution there, Sam Smith.
See, I read
Lovely contribution.
I read one history book, and it was a book I wrote myself, so it's not really accurate.
I liked that you didn't know quite where you were going with it. You just sort of said the horrific thing, and then just faded out.
We are
Let the listeners
only
do the work.
rugby podcast that's no, I'm not going to say what's
Okay. Sam's really gone off the rails here. I'm not quite sure.
I tell you what, I'm really looking forward to the rugby this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be... Just like we've mentioned a couple of times, hello weekend, some big questions around what team's going to be picked. I'm sure this will all be picked over very soon.
What do you mean? Like if they'll pick the Black Caps to play Ireland in the Rugby World Cup?
The players.
The individual players.
All
okay, I get
will
you.
be selected to play, who'll be available. Obviously, they're going to just be like, these are the guys who have done the best in this World Cup, and we're going to back them 100%.
Retallick, Barrett, Whitelock on the bench.
Yeah, I think it's controversial, but I understand. I think, we'll chuck Cam Roigard on the bench. The big question for me is Anton Leonard-Brown or Lester Fainga'anuku on the bench to back up the midfield? because I think Damien McKenzie, through his play, has earned a spot on the bench probably. So Beauden Barrett to start, Richie Mo'unga to start, Damien McKenzie on the bench. And then I think, based on how they're playing,
Leicester.
I think it's got to be Leicester.
It's got to be Leicester.
What he can inject in the latter stages of a game is just second to none. It might leave us a little exposed in terms of structure and shape, having someone who hasn't played as much 13. If Geordie Barrett gets injured, he's going to have to slip into 12, and then, it's going to be all bets are off. But
here's the thing. Leicester Fainga'anuku will also score 9 tries, which I think is going to be quite good for the scoreline.
Yeah, most of them from pick and goes as well. I do like how he just hits
He's
those
doing
pick and
that
goes.
now.
I mean, the other option as well is maybe Mark Talia hasn't done enough, which would be an outrageous thing to say, considering he's basically
incredible.
Turned everything he's touched.
Basically Superman.
Yeah, it's a real tricky one. And Anton Lienert-Brown, he hasn't been bad either. He's been bloody good, bloody solid. So if he was to be on and Leicester wasn't to make the team, you wouldn't begrudge him for it. You'd say, okay, let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
You'd say, I can't do it.
Let's go. Like
it'd be
Leicester.
it'd be better if it was Leicester. Let's go home.
Let's go.
Let's go home.
Oh,
it's a hard one if they say, hey, let's go. And he's thinking,
let's go home.
Say, let's go. And they go, no, go. You literally
go home. Pack your bags. Get on the flight. That's a great idea. If you don't make the team, they just send you off straight away.
Well, let's not forget the fact that Leicester is literally leaving New Zealand rugby.
Yeah.
He's made it's a big call considering I think he could stick around to the next World Cup easily.
Easy
so
peasy.
Good. And hopefully he comes back. I don't know how long his contract is overseas.
And said he's going to go and make $20 million playing
That's true.
Rugby football.
He's got to support the family.
Smart move, Leicester.
We'll take a quick break. You know what I'm trying to say here.
You're trying to say break.
Quick throw to break. All right, we'll see you in a second. Well, we're back from the smoothest throw to the break of maybe podcast history.
I thought during the break, if Leicester gets home, it's Leicester we forget.
Oh, nice.
Like Leicester we forget, when people died in the war.
They certainly did. Yeah. And Leicester we do forget.
Yeah. I don't want to forget him, though. I love him.
There was a dude from my hometown who everyone used to call Leicester the Molesterer.
Oh, why? No, did he grow up to be the beast of Bledham?
No, I just think he was just an unsavoury character, to be honest.
So they called him Leicester the Molesterer?
Yeah.
Was his name actually Leicester?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
It's a shame, especially if that is your hobby.
Yeah.
We don't need to get way down in the nitty-gritty. Hey, we have really skived over a couple of the games in that last round that I think do deserve a mention. Wales beating Georgia 43-19, and Georgia haven't been easy beats, and so maybe you are right, maybe Wales will carry on that form into the quarterfinal and give Argentina a good old kick in the cock.
I think I'm going to demonstrate something using my hands right now.
Perfect
what I'm doing
for a podcast.
is I am this right up here, and I'm holding my hands high in the air. That's a radar. And then this right here, walking along underneath it, fingers doing the walking like the yellow pages. That's Wales. They're under the radar. That's what I'm trying to say.
Nice. I think there's definitely no easier way you could have done that in an audio format.
It is the perfect way to describe it and show it to you personally and literally no one else.
Nice.
So I think Wales are going to absolutely thump Argentina this week.
The only problem that I have with flying under the radar is that sometimes, because you are under the radar, no one gives a fuck about you. And when you appear, you're instantly shot down.
Oh, yeah, like the snipers.
Yeah. So everyone's like, oh, I didn't notice that guy. And they explode, which I think probably will happen to them in the semi-finals.
Here's the thing. You be the sniper. So when you're under the radar, you jump on up. Oh, who's that guy? Oh, he's got a gun. Oh, he's a sniper. Oh, I'm dead.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
I think that certainly could be, especially if the winner Ireland, or if they're playing Ireland or New Zealand in a semi-final. I mean, you never know. Imagine if Wales win the World Cup. I'll literally devour a hat.
I will laugh for 1 full minute.
I'll eat a whole hat.
Yeah. You are wearing a hat right now. Will it be
I
that
never
one
said
right
this
now?
hat. I said I'll eat a hat.
A hat. Yeah,
I'll eat a hat. I say that on the record if Wales win this World Cup.
I'm not sure if you ever went to a website back in the 90s, but there was one called hatsofmeat.com.
Jesus.
And someone had made hats out of different types of meat. One was the base bull cap, and it was made of beef. And then there was another one that was like a yarmulke, and it was made of pork, which I thought was very distasteful.
Seems pretty offensive.
But the website itself was hilarious. I mean, one of the best.
Distasteful, not literally though, because it'd probably be delicious.
Yeah, it was uncooked meat, so you would want to cook your hat first before you eat it. Anyway, talk more about rugby, please.
Tonga 45, Romania 24, and Romania. Tough old tournament for those characters.
Yeah, they didn't really have any redeeming features at all.
Well, they were in an aggressive pool as well.
Also, because comparatively, they're very bad at rugby and don't deserve any wins at all.
Yeah, I guess it is. It's hard to argue with considering how it's gone for them.
Shout out to all our listeners in Bucharest.
But just think of that pool. Ireland, Scotland, South Africa, Tonga, and Romania.
Yeah.
It's just brutal. I mean, even for Tonga, you're like,
Samoa and Tonga, Scotland and Tonga are teams that can make the quarters.
Well, I mean, Scotland really only have themselves to blame. They got pretty much pumped by both Ireland and South Africa. So, you got to do a little bit better than that.
If Scotland were in the other two, in Pool C or Pool D, they would have made the quarters.
Well, if ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a wonderful Christmas, Sam. But unfortunately for Scotland, they have to simply fuck off.
Yeah, they have. They have to go back to Edinburgh.
They can go back to Glasgow.
The Dunedin of the North.
Yes, that's what I'm always calling it. I'm never not calling it the Dunedin of the North. Yeah. And the other games as well, worth mentioning these last quarterfinals. France versus South Africa. What a firecracker. Of course, Stade de Francais in Paris. It's going to be sold out. It's going to be an absolute shit kicker of a game.
It's quite. I was thinking about this. Like when they announced that Ireland and New Zealand would play one quarterfinal and France South Africa would play one quarterfinal, and everyone was like, "No, this is terrible. We should save the biggest games for the end." I don't know. It makes this round pretty damn exciting.
I think the idea is it makes the next round less exciting. And you want a tournament to keep progressing till the pinnacle event. You don't
need to explain.
You don't
want
to have to drop down a little bit before you summit Everest.
I get it.
Yeah.
But I just think it's still pretty exciting.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's not exciting.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it certainly is, especially to have a France Antoine Dupont.
He's back. He's going to be wearing his mask. He's going to be...
You always wonder when players come back really quickly from a broken face. What's going to happen to him? I
reckon someone's going to tackle him right in the face and he'll get sent off after 3 minutes.
If I was South Africa, I would give real consideration to smashing him right in the face in minute one.
Straight away.
Put on a guy that, you're only going to take 20 minutes and then you have someone to replace the red card. Just someone stomp him on the head.
And they'll probably put, if Dupont's off, they'll have to get that guy Luku, or however you say his name, and he sucks.
Well, he's a big bald guy, which I'm a big fan of. But we're not condoning, kicking a man in the head here.
Disagree. Go for it.
Podcast.
Kick people in the face. It's funny.
And all I will say to the South Africans in attendance listening to this is that if you do injure him for 3 weeks.
Yes. Please make it a decent injury.
But I would rather him be there. I would rather beat a full-strength team,
Oh, wait, this is what we should do. South Africa, who's their best player? Maybe a nice leader like Etzebeth. Let's get Etzebeth to injure Dupont so that Etzebeth gets sent off. He's out of there. No, let's get someone who's...
Sia Khaleesi, he's sort of the heart and soul of the team.
The heart and soul of the team. He tackles Dupont, gets kicked out for 3 weeks as well. Dupont's out for 3 weeks as well. Works very well for the All Blacks.
I like the way it sounds. Who are you picking for that one, Sam Smith? France versus South Africa?
I think France has been pretty damn good, but I'm going South Africa. I reckon South Africa are going to win it. I reckon South Africa, they're a Rugby World Cup playing nation. They're really good.
They are really good. I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to pick France. I'm going to think that the home advantage is going to give them just the edge they need.
I think France are going home from their own World Cup, a.k.a. hilarious. Love it.
Okay, I can't wait for that one. I think England versus Fiji, it's a tough one to pick. It really is, due to the fact that England aren't playing well. Fiji haven't been, but Fiji love to be the underdog, and now they are firmly the underdog. So an underdog Fiji playing an understrength England, all bets are off.
I think that it's going to be a draw, and they'll then combine the teams to make a team to play the next round. It's never been done before in Rugby World Cup history or any sport history.
Rules,
but it's going to happen. So nowhere in the rule does it say that you can't combine two teams to form one team to play in the next round. That does not say that in the rules.
It definitely does. You need to play for...
It definitely does.
They don't have the shared ancestry to play for a united team.
I think they should, and they should be called Fiji, England.
But I think they would still just be called England due to the fact that Fiji is in the Commonwealth. They're already bloody colonised them. What more do you want, Sam?
I don't think that's...
So you're saying that
they've got
England should colonise Fiji once again?
No, I'm saying Fiji should colonise England.
They're all reverse colonisation. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. They go and take over their own little slice of their rugby team.
The reverse cowgirl of the colonisation world.
There's a bunch of Fiji players who have played for England over the years. Let's bloody just combine the teams and have them play either whoever they're going to play.
Well, I'm going to pick Fiji for that one with a actually answer.
I think England's going to win.
And then we'll leave the tastiest morsel to last. We'll jump forward in time to Sunday morning, Wales versus Argentina. You've sort of already said you're going to think Wales are going to win that one.
I think Wales are going to win. I think Argentina just haven't done much this Rugby World Cup, which is surprising because they normally really step up.
Well, that's where I think that Argentina have been flying under the radar. Also, see how easy that was just to say?
Can you demonstrate it? Because I can't picture it.
It's unnecessary.
I just don't know where the radar is.
I think Argentina, they looked pretty good in moments again in that Japan game. Some of the running rugby was absolutely phenomenal. And if they can carry that momentum against Wales, I think that maybe they could pip them. And
Shout out to Carreras.
I'm picking Argentina for that game. And now, Sam Smith, it is the game that has got me rock hard for a full week.
What?
Ireland
you need to see a doctor about that.
It's really sore. Ireland versus, I've had it tucked up. It's quite aggressive. Sometimes it pops out the underside of my shirt. People are like, geez.
What is that?
Yeah, it's penis. It is Ireland versus New Zealand, the quarterfinal of the Rugby World Cup.
AKA, what a game. Cannot wait.
And before we get into it with what we think is going to happen, let's talk about what we want to happen. And using our TAB Game Day Good Punt in the scenario, we're going to we're going to try and manifest something amazing.
We're going to manifest destiny.
We're going to manifest density, and the All Blacks to win 13 plus is what we're putting. $100 bonus bet thanks to the good guys at TAB is on that. And
good on you, TAB, you legends.
Paying $5 New Zealand dollars. So
that's a Sir Edmund Hillary.
We have a chance to chuck $500 more into that TAB fund, and hopefully that will come through. You never know. Maybe there could be, I don't know. I think it's possible.
That the All Blacks beat Ireland 13 plus.
Yeah, remember one time we beat South Africa by like 50 fucking points in North Harbour? No one predicted that. You never know.
Do you remember the greatest song of the Rugby World Cup? It's In the Bag, Boys.
Yeah.
Can I remind you of that? This has been predicted
There we go.
in the stars that the All Blacks will win the Rugby World Cup for 2023. It's going to start happening this weekend. It's going to continue to happen the weekend after that, and it's going to actually happen the weekend after that.
Yeah, I'd say that this will be, if the All Blacks are able to get up over Ireland this weekend, it'll be the full reversal of what's gone on. All of a sudden, All Blacks will be red-hot favourites once again.
Yep.
The rugby press have been sort of scorning them for since it seems like forever. Will be like, oh, they're the real deal, this team full of superstars.
This is what we've been waiting for. They've been under the radar.
Again, people just can't see it.
No, but they can imagine it because I described it using words.
Yeah, but then they didn't know you were doing it then.
I was doing it then, just so you know. Just so everyone knows.
There we go. Okay, that's cleared up. You need to remind them that you're doing it.
Can I just say as well, I think Ireland are going to win.
Oh, no.
Guys, All Blacks, this isn't our year.
Oh,
absolutely
no.
not.
Are you trying to do like a reverse sort of voodoo?
No, I genuinely think the Irish rugby team are the greatest team in the world ever. Happening? And they will win the Rugby World Cup. They're going to send our boys out in the quarterfinal, making us look like absolute schoolboys. They're going to dominate the competition. They go Ireland. Good luck. I hope you win. I'm trying to do the reverse thing, Tony.
I thought you were just going to say not or something at the end. I don't know where you were going with that.
Oh, do you remember back in the day when everyone used to say, nah?
I'm always thinking about it.
It was so good.
I love it.
It was like the best joke ever.
There was no feeling worse than getting a big knot right in your face.
Hey, Tony, I really love you.
Well, that's the end of the Champagne Rugby podcast.
I do actually. You're great.
And go the All Blacks this week. I'm very excited. I think that they will win. My prediction is I think it'll be close, but I'm predicting a wonderful display of running rugby.
I like to do this during rugby games. I picture in my head a number, like a scoreline straight away, and like see what happens, what pops into my head. because I think that's what psychics do, and I think I'm quite psychic. I think the All Blacks are going to win 37-12.
Oh, shit the bed. When you said predict the number, the one that popped into my head was literally 37, but mine was 37-22.
Yeah, wow.
Which seems like an outrageously high scoring game. Genuinely. And
Quarterfinals, you get higher scores.
Sometimes we took a lot of shit on this podcast, but genuinely the number that was in my mind's eye was 37 then.
Guys.
That can't mean nothing.
Do you know what I think it is? I think it's because 37 is quite a funny number. Well, we're quite funny people.
7 plus 3 is 10, so it must be like, and one of those numbers your mind instantly goes to. It's aesthetically satisfying, and also a 37.
Did you say aesthetically?
37 is when a tall guy is bending over sort of a rotund person from behind and just really going at it.
Oh, like you're doing like a 69 thing, but with the number 37.
Like a 37, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I don't quite understand what the 3 is.
We'll give it a crack tonight.
The tall guy's the 7, right?
Yeah. And he's sort of like he's kind of diving into a pool.
And the 3 kind of looks like a big butt on the side.
They're sort of presenting down beside him, and he's 7ing the shit out of her 3.
Yeah.
Or his 3.
Thank you very much. I imagine, guys, if the score is 37-12 or 37-22, I think we should become Prime Minister.
Yeah, well, I mean, it will be on the day after the election.
Good luck to all the politicians listening to our podcast.
I just hope they have fun.
The politicians or the rugby players?
I mean, everyone. Everyone have fun.
I hope everyone listening has fun. I hope your team wins, no matter which team you support.
Unless it's Ireland, go the All Blacks. And
Ireland get fucked. Fuck you, Ireland.
Whoa. We'll be back.
They say the luck of the Irish. I say fuck off the Irish.
Okay, we'll be back next week.
Thank you for listening.
Okay, great. We'll see you next week.